Okay. Well, okay. Welcome, caller. How you doing today? Okay. Well, maybe they have theirs on mute. Well, good morning. This is Minister William Edward Turner. I want to welcome everybody to the Writers Education Workshop Question and Answer Teleconference. And I'm going to be today, my purpose is that I will be trying to give you the information that you need to publish your book with little or no cost. I'm not trying to sell you anything. There are no books to buy, no programs or anything that you need to buy from me. My mission from God is to get you published and to assist you in doing that with the least amount of cost and the most excellent and expert way, so that you're competing with everybody else, so that your stuff looks as good as everybody else, and you're reaching the numbers that you would like to reach. And so one of the things that I wanted to begin with was, how do you begin? How do you start? Where do you start writing? One of the things that I do want to say before I start, or actually as part of the start, the first part is that you have an idea. And the second is that you're committed to that idea and putting in the time that it takes to get it done. One of the things that I usually start with is, first of all, God gives me something, and then I look at how I'm going to lay it out. Usually, I don't have a particular, book that the complete book is going to be. So I kind of do a draft table of contents. And mainly the draft table of contents is not the order that it may end up being, but what it does is give me a guide to what section I'm going to be working on. So if I have a section A, and maybe that section is about communications, so I might talk about communication and the things like that, and then when I'm finished with that, then I can check that off and go to my next section. And that next section might be about relationships, or counseling or something like that. So I do each one. Now, as I do them, they may not be finished, and one of the things is you're wondering what to write. You already have it in you. Oftentimes, like me, you've probably been writing stuff all along, just haven't done a whole lot with it. And I know when I started writing, and I was saying, God, what am I going to write? And he told me, go over there to that purple binder you've been writing in, and it's in there. So that started me out. So there's things that you may have been writing that are laying around the house, and that will be your start. Now, as you start to write, one of the things that you will find is that you may run into roadblocks. And what I find when I run into roadblocks, if I'm running into a roadblock and it's not moving forward, it's usually not God, it's me. So if God is directing you, it will usually go smoothly. There may be times when he tells you to stop, and you stop because sometimes he needs to feed you some more information. I'm kind of going through that process with a book that I'm dealing with now, that he doesn't let me write any further because it seems like he's feeding me with different information that I need to put in the book. So you have to be listening to the voice of God, guided by God, and allow him to move and work with you. Yes, sometimes we do go over and go on our own thing, and what I found is that I have had to scratch out pages because it wasn't flowing as God put it down. He might have gave me a sentence, and the sentence said ABC, and I want to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I had to come back to what he said do and put it down. So that happens, but don't be frustrated about it. It's just that we have to stay tuned into God, tuned into the vision that he's given us to write. Now, whether you're writing a short story, whether you're writing a book about cookbook, whether you're writing poetry, it doesn't matter. God has placed this within you to bless the body of Christ, to bless humanity, to bless the world. And as you get that information out, you will find that it's important and it uplifts you at the same time. It uplifts you and brings you to a point where you're going to begin to enjoy writing the book every day. And one of the things that I always say is that you need to get up sometime and exercise, because you can get down there for 3 or 4 hours and you're just into it and you're pushing yourself. Be sure to get up and exercise. Where do you write? You can write anywhere, in your bedroom, at the kitchen table, in the living room, wherever the inspiration comes. Sometimes I've been at a restaurant and I'm writing on napkins because that inspiration came at that time. So you take all that stuff and you put it together, whether you use a notebook, whether you type it on your laptop or iPad, however you do that. That's what you do. Now, when you go to preparing for your pre-printing and proofing analysis, that's one of the things that I want to talk about. There are many printing services, and each one of them has standards. One of the things that I found out when you're looking for printing and publishing, many of them will rip you off. They will tell you you need $2,000 or you need $1,500 or you need $800. That is not true. It can be done a lot cheaper. One of the groups that I want to talk about that I used, that I was directed to by one of the booksellers, as a matter of fact, Barnes & Noble, and that is a company called IngramSparks, and that's IngramSpark.com. Now, they do print-on-demand printing. So you're not printing out a bunch of books. You don't have a house full of books. Like I have a nephew that's got 5,000 books still left that he still needs to sell. You don't have that extra baggage and extra storage. It prints them out as you need them. I know when we were doing some sending out books, even to family members, we could put it in the computer, tell them that it was going to Chicago, or it was going to New York, or it was going to Phoenix, Arizona, and they would print it, package it, ship it, and that all that happened within one thing. Now, IngramSparks is the one that says that they'll get you through to 38,000 plus distributors, and that includes schools and universities as well as Amazon.com. Now, they charge you, they have both eBook and they do print, and their cost is around $75. So $75 gets all that done. Now, there's certain hoops you have to jump through, and those hoops dealing with how do you publish it, in sense of it's going to be an ebook, submitting it in the correct format, as well as the graphics that need to be done have to be a certain way. The fonts have to be embedded and all these kind of things. And these things you can get a graphic designer to do, but you can also do these things yourself. If you use like Adobe 10 Pro, you don't have to buy the whole program. You can lease the program for a month for I believe it's $27. So you lease it for a month. You can use it as much as you want, 24/7. Do all your stuff when you get to that point. Embed your fonts, and that's mostly for your book cover when you're doing that, so that when it's printed out, the fonts don't move. They're embedded and they don't move out of place, so everything still lines up, and that's what they want. Plus, the color is correct. You didn't put in red and it comes out orange, all those kind of things. So you can hire a graphic artist to do that, or you can do it yourself. What happens is if you do it yourself, it's a learning curve. So you got to take a little time to learn it, but, you know, paying $100, $200, $300 to a designer, a graphic designer, may not be what your pocket calls for, but if you take an hour, you can probably learn how to use the Adobe 10 Pro to do all the font things. Matter of fact, when you do the fonts, there's a little click thing that you click on, and it shows you which fonts aren't embedded. Then you go over to the side, and you click on another thing, and it embeds all your fonts for you. So it's not like it's rocket science. You know, it's just learning the particular application and which buttons to click, and they will teach you and instruct you because they want you to use it as well. So the other thing is that I want to come down to number 4 is talking about ISBN numbers. Now, ISBN numbers, one of the things is that a lot of people I've heard talk about, well, they talked to somebody and they wanted to charge them $200 or $100 for ISBN number, just one number. If you have an eBook and a print book, you need a number for both. If you go to ISBNservices.com, you can get one for $18.99. So less than $20, you can get an ISBN number. And that is your standard, unique 13-digit number that is applicable in across the world, not just in the United States. They have some that are 10-digit, which are the older ones, and you may even get one that was used on another book that was out of print. But each one at ISBN Services is unique, and you also get the barcode that goes with that number. The other thing is that I do want to say, you know, I'm saying a lot of stuff. You can get, after everybody gets off, I'm going to send out the Playback so that you can listen to this, copy down stuff, stop it, play stuff back, and things like that. So don't worry about trying to write everything down and get it all together. Just listen. If you've got questions, you might want to write those down because I'm going to be coming up with questions probably in the next 15 minutes where you can ask questions. So also electronic proofing. When you get to electronic proofing, one of the things that I do is I don't use someone else to proof my documents. And, you know, initially, you know, I'm going to look over it later, but as I first start out, what I do is go to PDF, your Adobe PDF, and on it there's a tab that says View. You click down to View, and it says Enable Reading, Auto Read. So what it's going to do, it will read your book back to you. So you can listen to it and hear where some of the mistakes are as it goes through, because the guy's going to read it as it's printed. He's not going to put in what you thought should have been there. He's going to read what you printed. And that way you're saving dollars on, I got to hire somebody out to proof my book. So you're proofing it electronically. I usually listen to pieces of it because oftentimes, you know, it's so long. And the other thing that I found about proofing it, sometimes you find, hey, I need to put in something else, or I didn't put in the detail that I needed to put in. The only thing that flaw about proofing is that you may have words that sound like the word that you put in, but therefore it's kind of like you should have put in here, H-E-R-E, and you put in here, H-E-A-R. So you still need to go through and check things, but after you get those 3 passes, I usually do 3 passes through reading it and take a notebook, and I put on what page that was and what was a few words around it, so I have it in context of where I need to change that to and instead of a, you know, that kind of stuff. Those kind of things do, and those help you move through. As I was talking about IngramSparks Print on Demand, one of the things is that when you do that, you know, as I said, I believe it's like the package where you get both your ebook done and your print book formatted. I think it's $61, something like that. $61, they put them both in. Now, the work that you have to do to go into that is what takes the time, because it has to be in certain formats. They have corrections in there. They will convert your ebook for you at $1 a page. So if you got a 100-page ebook, that's $100. Don't do it, because you can get it done for free. You can get it done for free at zamzar.com. That's zamzar.com. They will convert your book into EPUB. EPUB, there's various different ebook formats, EPUB, mobile, and there's a couple of others that aren't as popular. And, you know, there's also, as you do this, you know, you will find out that there's also print-on-demand publishing through IngramSparks, so they'll take you through that. So take your time and read the information. They also asked you to market through their advanced co-op. I tried that once, wasted my money, because it prints out one time. The people that are reading it and that go to the libraries, they don't necessarily pick up your book. They're looking for those established authors. You know, I've talked to some of the libraries. They got the book, but they haven't really looked at it. They get it every month. And they're not looking for new authors. They're looking for people that are established most of the time. They notice those. The new authors, you know, unless it's something really dramatic in your title that makes it pop out, they might catch it, but oftentimes they won't buy it until they hear other people mention something about it. And then oftentimes, like in the library here, Greensboro or national libraries, you have to submit your books to the library individually to them. You know, I know my mother has a few books at the libraries here in Greensboro, and we had to go through a process of doing that. I've got ebooks that are through the library system, and there's a separate system to do that, and it makes it available across the country to libraries by ebook. And so the advanced catalog, sending stuff through that, those catalogs that they want to offer for another $25 for one printing is a waste of time. Distribution network, IngramSparks has a great distribution network, but let me tell you, most of it is through Amazon.com. And I want to tell you a little bit about Amazon.com. And, you know, you got Barnes & Noble's, bookstores, and a few other national websites, international websites. Amazon.com is also international, which is the main meat of their distribution network. So, and there's a way to go around paying them for putting your stuff into distribution and doing it yourself, which I use now. Now what I do is I go to Amazon, which is called Kindle Direct Publishing at Amazon.com. Don't cost you a dime. You know, you do it there, you get your book on. There's not the requirement of having to have an ISBN number, but you can if you like. The other part is that as you do that, it allows you to manipulate it, change the cover, do different types of things with it at no additional cost. With IngramSparks, they're going to charge you $25 each time that you change that book. So they're continuing to get money from you. I know I had tried also publishing and distribution with, there was another image publications which TD Jakes used, and a few other large, big-time ministers, and they want $3,000 just to start. So that's coming in the door, $3,000. Didn't have $3,000. So this is what set me on the quest to find out how to do this at little or no cost. The order fulfillment part with your print book, I think, is excellent for by IngramSparks. As I was telling you, you just type in the address where it's going. They print out one book. If you only need one book to go to John Doe, they'll print one book and ship it to John Doe. The key is being sure that your profits and your shipping costs and your printing costs is covered in the price of your book. The other thing is that when you're doing these books, always do that. Calculate how much I want to sell it for, and does that cover my shipping cost to somewhere as well? Because if you sell a $20 book and it costs you $21 to get it printed and ship it, then you're losing money. So you want to be careful with that and look at that. Now, with IngramSparks, you can manage your own books for sale, and you get a listing. But one of the things that happens is the fact that your book is, your profits come like every 6 months. So if you sold 20 books this month, they keep the money until 6 months from now, then give it to you. So they're actually making money off of your money. But, you know, that's one way of doing it. The other way is that you can purchase books. You know, we've done this, purchase a batch of books, and you purchase them at cost, and you use them yourself. You sell them yourself. You market them yourself. There's direct marketing and sales services that will charge you a lot of money to get your name out. They don't actually sell the book. They just advertise the book. So you can spend a lot of money on advertising and really not get the results that you need at first. For those of you who's going to move forward in this, I want you to let you know that we'll still be talking, and you can personally talk to me and give me a call at 336-706-0090, and we can talk specifics about what you need. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, the last thing before we go into questions, is book signings. Book signings, they make you feel good. You feel like, hey, I'm a great author, I'm good, and it feels good for people coming around to you. And it's good PR for getting your book out. You know, mainly in the PR and marketing your book, there's a difference between marketing and sales. Marketing is going out and talking about my book, getting people interested in my book. And that's the thing. Oftentimes we see a need. People need this, but they're not interested in the need. They're interested in a want that they want. It's kind of like they need to change their diet, but they want to lose weight, but they don't want to change their diet. You know, they like what they're eating. So you kind of have to build the need up. In whatever you're doing, you know, children's books, whether it's cookbooks, whatever, you have to look at it from there's two standpoints that they say look at it from. The actual impact that's mental and the spiritual impact of it. So how is it going to affect them spiritually, how they're going to gravitate toward it. And then also the mental aspect. What are they going to see when they see this? What does your word say on the cover? Because that cover is actually what's going to attract them. What's the picture on it as well? The other thing about book signings, if you're selling to bookstores like Barnes & Noble, I did a book signing there, and I ended up owing them $495. Now, the reason is because they require, when you go through bookstores, that they get a 55% discount on your books. So they get that 55% discount, and the interesting part about it is they told me to bring my own books. So I bought 100 books, you know, it cost. Then they go out and order 100 books at cost, and then what happens is they have to sell their books first because you're in their store. So you sell so many books, and then what they do is they send the remainder back. So what they paid for those books, which should have been a profit to you, you end up now having to pay the shipping back and the giving the refund back to them, and then the processing fee for either keeping your books or destroying your books. So there's all these kind of things that you have to be aware of when you do book signings, and it can cost you a bunch of money if you're going through a major store. If you're doing it at church or something like that, or you're having a book signing somewhere else, purchasing your own books is pretty much the way to go rather than doing this. What I wanted to do now is I've come through the 13 points. I want to give you a couple of websites. One is Wix.com. It's a website for free. You can create a free website for yourself. You can create a free website. It's got great designs. You can got colors, patterns. You can put in pictures. You can put in videos. You can create a blog on it. You can put in music. All those things into your website at no cost. The other is MailChimp. And MailChimp is a email blast type service, and they will allow you to blast up to 2,000 emails per day. I guess it's like so many days a month, and you have to read the details on that. And usually I do 2 or 3 a week, and most of mine are around 1,000 to 800. And so I do those, and I rotate them through the 9 books that I have, and each one will be about something different. But they allow you to do that, and it's free. It's up to 2,000. When you go to 2,000 names, then charges kick in. But what they'll do is they will flag you and tell you that you're going over 2,000 names. Which plan do you want to choose, or do you want to edit your list of names so that you come back under and be on the free rate again? So it allows you to build your clientele up at no cost. And the other one for Kindle Direct, which I thought was wonderful because I was still getting around I was getting outlets all across the world on every Amazon network that they have, which I was paying for through IngramSparks, and I had less hassles. Oftentimes through IngramSparks, I would have to go back and redo things because they would submit it to Amazon, and for some reason it would not go through, and then they tell me I'd have to redo this or redo that. Well, when I go to Kindle Direct Amazon.com, I don't have those problems. I submit it directly to them. They have several formats that you can change it to. I use Zamza to change it to that particular format and plug it into Amazon.com, and you got all the you got worldwide distribution at no additional cost. They do have some parameters, but the other thing also in marketing, I usually market my discounts in competition with what I have on Amazon. Example, I have a book called Can You Hear Me Now, which is dealing with communication, and it sells on Amazon for $24.99. I sell it direct for $12.50. One of the things is that you'll find that you make more money on your eBooks than you do on your print books. When a print book through like IngramSparks, I might make $1.75, and then if I do an ebook, I might take $4 off of it. So the differences are great, and it can be even more. And then when I do them direct my way, I make $11 off a book. So there's different ways that you can do these things. And right now I'd like to open the floor up for questions. And I just want to thank all you guys for calling in, and the lines are open. Okay. Anybody got a question?
No.
So,
I had a question.
Okay, go ahead.
You had mentioned something about direct, and you had given out some websites. One was, is it Wiki? How is that spelled?
Wix.com.
Okay, thank you. And then you mentioned MailChimp, and there was also another one that said direct. It was something direct. What was that?
Okay. Kindle Direct Publishing.
Kindle, okay.
Right, and that's actually kdp.amazon.com.
Okay. And I had one more question.
Go ahead.
When you are in the process of creating a book from start to finish, what is your time frame, or how long does it take you to do that?
It depends. You know, I'm pretty fast because I write all day mostly, you know. And when I say all day, I might write 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon, and maybe 2 or 3 hours. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I might write another hour, you know. So it can take me 3 months, you know. The first book that I did was 281 pages. That took almost a year. But that was also a lot of learning process in that. I could probably do it a lot quicker now. Usually my books are around 80 to 90 pages, and I can do them in 3 months. But what you do when you find that you missed the target date, don't worry about it. You just move the date further ahead. You know, maybe it's another week, maybe it's 2 weeks, maybe you take off for Christmas vacation. You know, I mean, I did that. You know, and just like you need to relax your brain. You know, and do some other things, because you can get so wrapped up into the writing that you don't allow your time for personal time, for your family, all that kind of stuff. And you still need to do those things. So you need to be well-rounded. And even when you write, you know, life goes on.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
Yes. Can I repeat what you just said? Is it W-I as in India, X as in exit.com?
Yes. X as in zebra.com.
I'm sorry?
Not X as in zebra, X as in xylophone. I'll be all right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Also, the free website that you talked about, what was the name of that?
That is it. Wix.com.
Okay.
Wix.com. Right. And it'll take you through. It has instructions to get that up. I actually use 2 of them. I think I have 3 of them. I had 4 at one time. You know, I have the one for the publishing, which is Narrowgate Ministries, and then I have Winning at Marriage. And then I also have Divorce Prevention Guide, that one, which I'll probably just be changing that one's name to, because I've got several other books on there, and it'll just be William Edward Turner. So, and then the other things flow into the others. So just kind of restructuring that. And you can restructure them, you can delete them, you can copy them and start over. One of the things that they have that is a great feature is you can send out a mass email to them. And you can send out, I believe, like I usually send out somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 emails through them. and you can do, and that's, I think, $2,000 a month is what they let you do, and you can do it through 3 email blasts, and they do it for you. It's not costing you any more money. It's free. And what I do with that is I take my major list and usually run it through them, and it screens it down to all those people that open. So, it tells you who opened, actually tells you what time they opened it, and also if they clicked on anything in your email. So then I take that information and download the people that opened, and I put them into my MailChimp, and then I use that becomes my target population because they are at least interested, So there's different things that you can do with that.
Okay, then you talked about electronic proofing. You said that this program reads back the contents of your book. What about grammatical, errors, pronunciations, quotations, semicolons, things like that? For example, I'm not really good at that. Does it correct that for you, the quotations and the semicolons and, run-on sentences and so forth?
No, it does not. No, it just reads back what you have. What I find, and probably the best thing to use for that is your Microsoft Word, because it has both grammar and spelling. And it will ask you, shouldn't this be there, THEIR instead of THERE, those kind of things. Or it says that it's incomplete sentence, things like that. It will ask you all those things and say you need to rework this sentence, So that's what I use.
Okay.
And then what I do is you can directly go from your Microsoft Word by clicking, what is it called? I believe it's Save and Send. And it allows you to change the format of your thing of your document to an Adobe format, or you can change it to a photograph, or any number of different formats. I think there's like 10 or 20 on there that you can change it to. So and usually what I do is change them to an Adobe format, and then I have my Adobe Reader. You don't need to purchase anything else for that. You get the free Adobe Reader. You go to the View section, and you go down to, to the reading, activate read, and you activate read, and it asks you, does it want you to read this page only, or does you want to read to the end of the document? And so you click on that, and the guy or the female, depending on which one you have, will come on and read the entire document, or read what you selected to read.
Okay, then you talked about something, $61 for, what was that?
That is IngramSparks. IngramSparks charges you around $61 for the publishing of the book, and both your eBook and your print book, if you do them both at the same time. And I think it's like $45 or $50 if you do just your print book, and then it's going to charge you another $25 when you come back and do your ebook.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And all the instruction will be on that website. And what I suggest do is before you move forward on it, take all their tutorials, because they also give you 20% off if you go through one of their webinars. So you take that webinar, they give you a special word, and you plug in that word when you get finished, and it also will not let you go through certain steps until you've done what's needed. So you can't put it in halfway. They're going to make you go back and change the colors, embed the fonts, do different things, but it's all for your good. It's so that you turn out a quality book. So that's one of the nice things about IngramSparks.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I had a question about how the spelling of a website. I think did you say Zamzak.com? Zamzak?
Zamzar. Okay, and that was Z-A-M, Z-A-R, Z as in zebra, A-M, ZAR.com. And that's a converter website. It converts your written document or video or audio to another format. And as you go down, you'll see the different formats. There's formats for eBooks, formats for your written documents, formats for your PDFs, all those different kinds of things. So it allows you to move one format to another format up to 50 megabytes. And an example is my book with 281 pages was only 17 megabytes. So those kind of things you can look at, and it allows you to get this done for free versus going through a service like what is it? I was saying that IngramSparks has a service, but they charge you $1 per page. Yeah. So if you go to Zamzar, you can do it yourself, and it comes out perfect, you know. And usually and it might take a little while. Like what I do is put it in. They do it, and it's online. And the nice thing about it is I use online stuff rather than downloading it to my PC or my laptop. That way I'm not crowding up my disk, got some bug in my disk that I can't get out, and now I got to redo my computer, you know, and get it debugged. Everything is online, and then they email it back to me, and then I can use it from there. Or they email a notice that I can download it. So I just download my document, not download their program.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, good morning. Did you say that we would receive the information to be able to play back the recording? So
yes.
Yes.
And you've been getting the information emailed that I email out to you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to send everybody that registered a copy, a call-in number where they can just play the email and play this educational workshop back, so they can call in and do it. But I might be trying to also see how I can do a standalone to where you don't have to call in, you can just click and listen. So it depends on how much my learning curve is to do that, you know. So as you can see that I'm a person that try to do it all myself. I'm not going to pay to do something that I can do myself, you know. So there is a way to do that. I just haven't taken the time to learn that. But in the meantime, you will get the number to call in to get this particular workshop back, and you can listen to it as many times as you want.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, thanks. Is there anybody who wants to tell me what they're writing? What you're writing? Okay. Don't everybody speak at once. Okay, Barbara, I see you on here. Tell us about the book you're writing.
It's a 31-day devotional.
Okay, and is there a focus on it? Is it for healing or just inspiration or what?
Well, I don't want to give out a lot of detail on it.
Well, you know, I can understand that to a point. This is one of the things that I found out is that there are so many different ways, and I do want to say this. Books do not make you rich, So, and I want to say that because in order to market your book, you're going to have what I call to develop what I call an elevator speech about your book. You're going to have to say, like, say you got on the elevator and you're getting off on a couple of floors later, how do I tell the person about my book in 1 minute? You may not tell them details about this page is that and that page is that, but you need to be able to tell the content probably really in 30 seconds so that a person can say, oh, I think I want to look at that, or I want to go buy that, or tell me more about that. Can we talk more about it? So that's something that you want to develop to do, and it might be, just something like, I have a book and it's called Can You Hear Me Now? It deals with the communication between a male and female, the differences in how to identify your own communication skills and preference so that you can be able to communicate effectively with your spouse, with people at work, even understanding that you may hear things differently than what things are said. So that would be my book on Can You Hear Me Now on communication. So just looking at those kind of things that you need to just kind of have something to say, So think about that, plan that for your books, because you'll be the biggest marketer of it.
Well, I would say that my book is basically about God speaking to those who feel as though they have gone too far into the muck and the mire for God to forgive them. And so God is, each devotional, God is drawing them to Him. The first few chapters is about salvation, first bringing people into a relationship with Jesus Christ, or either rededicating their life to Jesus Christ, and then it grows into becoming more mature in that journey. So that's what it's about.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Hello? I see you there online. You're not hiding. Bertha, you're still on the line.
I am. I'm sorry.
Can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Well, I've written, I'm one of those people that procrastinates. I've been writing over a period of years.
We all are.
Yeah, but it's like they're there. And just quotes in books on wisdom.
Okay.
And I just hadn't put it together enough to put it out there. And it's like I put all the information there. It's just something that has been sitting on the shelf.
Okay.
And like you had mentioned earlier, the people that write on napkins and anywhere they can, when you get that aha moment that you're like, okay, or inspiration from God, let's put it that way, that you're like, oh, I got to write this down because if I don't, I'll miss it. And so that's what I've been doing probably for the last 10 years. And it's time for it to, go out to the masses.
Great. And that's the whole idea. That's the whole thing. I want you to know that for each of you that I'm available to deal with your books, to help you get through this process. My mission that God has given me in this season is to get you published and not to charge you to get you published. So there's nothing to buy. There will not be anything to buy from me. I'm just the person that's going to help you not get ripped off, to get over the hurdles, to get by the doors that people may throw up in front of you so that you can get what God has placed into you out of you.
Thank you.
So, You're welcome. And anyone else? Okay. I still see you there, everybody. You can say something. It's all right. You're a writer. Hey, you at least have something to say. We know that.
Well, I don't have any. I have not started a book, but I wanted to find out just general information and to give me ideas about how to get started or what needed to be done. And so the information I received is really great. And so I'm looking forward to getting started, even if I have to write tidbits here and tidbits there. But, yeah, so it's interesting listening to others.
Okay, great. And, I want to keep this going. Probably after this I'll do two, because there's some subjects that I didn't get into, like book size and number of pages, type of paper, creating your cover, should it be color or black and white, the thing about, using copyright, domain names, all this other kind of stuff, things that are in the public things. There's a lot more to go. And what I want to do is just work with people. When you're looking at starting off, what I found is I didn't know I was writing a book alone, because I had been writing workshops and sermons and things like that, and things that I was interested in, and God told me to get that stuff out and put it in a book. So I didn't know I had been writing for years. So it wasn't until his direction that he said, put it in a book, that I realized that, hey, that is a book, and particularly the one I had for 281 pages, that's all workshops and lessons, study lessons. It's called Recommission to the Great Commission Discipleship Guide. And, it's all stuff that I had been writing on, doing presentations on, and things like that in the past. And all that stuff came together. So there's probably stuff that you have that you don't know that you have that would be content for a book, because you think of it as content of, I'm speaking somewhere, or I'm doing a presentation, or it was just something that I was interested in and I wrote about, for myself, because a lot of the things that we write about are often for ourselves. Okay, anybody else want to speak up, tell us a little bit about what you're doing, where you're going, what you're thinking about writing? We got about 8 more minutes, 7 now. Nobody else, okay. Well, what I wanted to do is, before we go, I'm going to pray for everybody, and I thank you for calling in. Give you my phone number. It's 336-706-0090. That's 336-706-0090. You can call me anytime or text me, and we can get together and talk about what you're doing, if you're struggling in a spot, how to do that, or you can just go to Nailgate Ministries, just click on the website with that you see when I send out the email blast, and it will take you to the website, and then you can contact me through the contact page there. You can do that. But the fastest way is to text me or call me. So, and I'm available to you, because this is what God's got me doing. And as I said, I'm not charging you anything. I'm just making sure you don't get ripped off, and that God publishes, that you get to publish what God has placed in you. So, dear Father in heaven, we just thank you for these people that have called, Father God. I thank you for the gift that you've placed inside them. Lord, I ask that you bless them, Father God, to be encouraged, Father God, to no matter how long it takes, to never give up. For you have planted this seed into them that they are to plant into others, that others may live. Lord, we just thank you for all these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, well, everybody have a wonderful day. I'm off to Mount Zion. I know some other people are off to some other workshops and things like that. So thanks for calling in, and I hope I answered any questions that you have. Monday you should receive the callback number. If I don't get it out this evening. I might get it out this evening, but I got quite a few things to do. I might come out, you might get it by Sunday for sure, if I publish it tonight, late evening. Like I said, I'm up late, so I can just put that out, but you will have it by Monday. So, and then you can call back in and listen at your leisure and that kind of thing. You might even come up with some more questions, contact me about those. Anyone that you know that's interested in writing that may not have been able to make it, that may not have signed up, you can tell them about it, and I know I wish I would have had someone to take me through these things when I was going through. I would have probably saved a few $1,000. But praise the Lord that he blessed me to get through this, and the gift that he's given me I'm sharing with you. You guys have a blessed day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.